Charlotte's Compass is an exploration of the human condition. It's about finding out what it is that drives us, what makes us happy, and these are huge questions. But from hearing so many people's different stories, I feel like I'm getting slightly closer to the answers.
My shoe size 25 and not you.
There's been times in my life where I've found myself trapped, as if there's a wall in front of me and I can't go around, can't go over, can't go under. Tried banging my head off it, it's not really working out. Removing the wall, I guess that's the thing that I needed the most in my life, and that people offered me in different ways. If you can help someone learn or grow or change, and if you can get rid of the wall, even if it's just one person that you try with, I think that's a huge, huge thing.
Fingers dancing on a map, wish I could travel using a magic word.
Gary was a prisoner, and while inside he discovered art. Now he goes back to prisons to help enrich the lives of others through art.
I confided in my friend and I said, this is what's going to happen to my one when I get hold of him. I said, he's done this to me. He knew it was drugs. He didn't tell me. He didn't give me the option to say, I don't want to be a part of it. He's made me a drug smuggler, which isn't anything I ever wanted to be. He's made me a drug smuggler. Heroin as well, filthy stuff. And then I told him the story, and my mate who I was telling, he was a violent person, nice bloke, but he was violent. Yeah. And he was going, Gal, stop it, mate. You're terrifying me. He said, you can't do it. He said, just look at you, listen to you. Because as I'm telling him, I'm there. You know, and this art thing, as soon as I got that art thing, never thought of it again. In my head, I just went, that's it, all of that has gone.
Because that's definitely what you're, like, I mean, I'm trying to find the elements of what means that you're able to be happy now and that you're able to have this, and it seems that you're grateful.
Art, is it?
It is art.
It's like a religion. I'm like a born-again artist. Honestly, I go into prisons now. I go into prisons off my own back. I don't get paid for it. I go into prisons and I do workshops with guys. Yeah. I don't get paid. I pay for it myself. I pay for the materials, because if one person, when I'm talking to them, can just get what I got, that's it.
Do you know what? It's crazy.
Changes lives. I'm not a working artist. I go to work every day. There come a point when I was like, well, I can't be a working artist because I've got a family. I can't give up my job to go and try and be an artist because my family would suffer. I can't do that, you know, so I try and do it in my spare time. And then we went to a talk one time with Lee, funny enough, to see Tracy Emin doing this talk at the Foundling Museum. And just before the talk, I hadn't seen her for about, I don't know, 6 years or something. I just looked over, she saw me, I just went, all right. And she went, oh yeah. And then I went over and she said, oh, what are you up to? And I said, oh, nothing, I'm just working. What you do? I mean, everything is art, you know. I said, oh, I'm just working, I'm not really making anything. She went, what do you mean not making any art? You're an artist, aren't you? What, you went all the way to art school, you went all through what you're doing, and you're giving it up? What do you mean you're giving, not quite like that, but she was pretty much kicking me arse for not being an artist. And then as Tracy was leaving, I didn't chat to her afterwards. I see her, I went, see you later, and she looked round, she went, see you later on, make art. That sort of reignited it.
The real world is beautiful, but
I met Hayley in her shop in London, and it was incredible to see someone who is a businesswoman and you would think is very business orientated speak about spirituality.
To like really save the world and to make a difference is one person at a time. So you start with yourself. So the better you can be as a person, that will have a quantum effect also on the rest of the world. So you smiling at someone down the street will have a butterfly effect maybe on someone having a meal in India. You don't know. The point is we just have to constantly be aware and try to be light versus dark. But one doesn't work without the other. It's like knowing that I made a difference that day, for example. That makes me happy. Yeah. I mean, I was walking to the park with the dog the other day, and again, this comes down to timing and the universe and structure and everything, and a guy falls down, smashes his head open, he's got a hole in his head, and I happen to be walking at that moment because I literally was going to drive to the park 10 minutes before that, and I ummed and ahed for 5 minutes about how I was going to get to the park, and I was like, no, do you know what, I am going to walk. So that moment our paths crossed and he had this accident, I was able to help him. And I felt good about it afterwards. Not because I did something for him, but because I felt like I was meant to be there at that moment.
And do you really think that the universe gives you things that, you know,
Always.
the right things
100%.
happen at the
No
right
matter
time?
how painful they are. No matter how painful they are.
There's a reason for
It's
everything that
everything.
happens.
Everything.
When I was in Dublin, I met Lynn, who's the director of the Science Gallery. I asked her what she thought science had to say about happiness and what were the elements that she felt had really enriched her life.
Happiness really comes again from kind of connections, emotional bonds with my family, with my friends, with my colleagues. And feeling like what I am doing here in this world is worthwhile. From the scientific perspective, there was a survey done around happiness, and it was at the time that Ireland was in the middle of the recession, and we still were coming out really high in the happiness index, like quite high, even though things were pretty bloody bad. We were still coming out high. You know, there's a point at which money doesn't matter anymore. And most of the research indicates that it's not the amount that you earn that matters in terms of your happiness, but it's what you earn relative to your peers. So if you are in a group of friends and you earn significantly less than your immediate friends, you'll be unhappy about it. But if you are within the sort of median bracket of what they earn, then you're happy.
Really? I didn't know that.
So it's about how you place yourself in that kind of context.
And if
We should have dream than I sleep.
when you're younger, you are so concerned in your teens about how you look, how the world perceives you, what it is everyone else thinks of you. You try to become that person. There's no one that will reach maturity or their older years that won't say to you that what's important is what you give other people, how you make other people feel. And I don't think that you should see yourself in each individual. I don't even think you need to think that big about it. To help others selflessly or to give someone something that enriches their life, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, that is key to happiness.